What's going on, guys? Sam Richards, Isolation Movement here. Today I'm going to talk to you about my current cycle, about RAD140. You guys love this substance. It's probably the most commented about thing on my channel due to my RAD140 review video from God knows back when, before I had a half decent setup, so I looked like I didn't even lift. So before you ask it, no, I did not enter Mr. Puniverse, as somebody kindly commented, but basically I've upgraded since then, and I've also upgraded my physique. So I'm going to talk to you today about the reason why I cut RAD140 out of my cycle. This would be controversial. Some of you might not like this. Some of you might find it interesting and be able to take this away. Some of you might have even experienced things that I have experienced and have also made the same moves and possibly even seen the same great results. Now then, why did I stop RAD140? This is going to be a really quick answer if I'm honest. The reason why I stopped RAD140 is because, first of all, I was experiencing acid reflux. Now, what that basically is you'll get pain in the middle of your chest, around there, sort of where your stomach is situated, and it will make it particularly difficult to eat. Now, I was experiencing this alongside experiencing a really big issue with actually gaining weight even when I was hitting my bulking calories. And I'm calculated, if I go by what an online calculator would say, I'm roughly at about 2,900 calorie maintenance level, TDEE, and I was eating about 4,000. So I was thinking to myself, I'm over 1,000 calories over what I should be eating, and nothing's happening. RAD140 is causing acid reflux, which means that it's almost impossible to eat enough. And I need to just quit this and quit this quick. I've been on for like 10 to 12 weeks already. That's a long SARM cycle as it stands. And I wanted to see what would happen with test alone anyway. So I cut it out, made the decision, and some interesting things happened. But I briefly want to talk about the reason why it gave me acid reflux and something to bear in mind. Now, everyone who buys liquid SARMs, they say the same thing, they taste like shit. Well, what do you expect? It's mixed with some, horrible solvents, which are just going to burn. They're going to be hot in your mouth. It's going to taste like ass because it's a chemical at the end of the day. It's not, you can't put some fruit flavouring in it and make it all jolly and happy. It's not going to be like bubblegum. So people buy these and then they complain and they try and find other ways to take them. I was one of those people. I'd had experience with oral pro hormones and knew the taste was just unbearable and it didn't feel healthy in any way. So I thought, let's drop them into a capsule. Every morning when I'm about to take the dose, just put a dropper in, close it up, down the hatch, stomach deals with it, all good. And yeah, the results weren't really hindered. There was no real issue there. But the issue came in the fact that then caused my stomach to be majorly out of whack. It's usually absorbed in your mouth or throat. It was getting all the way there, and this big dose was just, dissipating out. And this is why I say, if you're going to do something like I did and drop it into a capsule to make it taste better, just make sure you're only running it for about 8 weeks, because that's about the point where the acid reflux became really intolerable, and you just don't want to end up in that situation. If you do start to get acid reflux, drop it into your mouth, stop doing it the other way. I know it tastes like shit, but you're just going to have to man up, guys. So I quit RAD140. That leaves me on testosterone alone. So I was at about 500 milligrams per week of testosterone. Clearly it worked. My update where I am now, I am sat at about 198 pounds and 14% body fat. So lean bulk, full effect, brilliant. Great. I've been cheating twice a week on my diet and it really hasn't affected my progress at all. So what's happened since I dropped RAD140 and I'm only on testosterone? Some interesting things actually. My weight dropped. I reached 200 pounds when I was on RAD140 and testosterone. I then sharply dropped down to about 194 pounds. That's about 6 pounds of weight loss. That is a substantial amount. What do I put that down to? I would put that down to the water weight and some glycogen from my muscles. Somebody actually input on that on Reddit and suggested it, and I do buy into that. However, the interesting thing is that's a substantial amount of water weight. Considering it's deemed to be a drier compound than LGD, it's still packed on enough to make a noticeable difference. And 6 pounds for somebody who's 200 pounds is not a small amount. That's 3% of your body weight. So you need to bear these things in mind when you're calculating where you are in your progress. Since dropping that, I've gotten drier, which is interesting because test is meant to cause loads of water retention. In fairness, I've been on a fairly steady dose of AI, 0.5 milligram every 2 days. So that has, obviously helped me to stay dry and not retain the water and to prevent the estrogen symptoms. I was getting a bit of estrogen symptoms, a bit of tingling, and so decided to start that. And that's how you should play it, guys. Be intuitive with your body, know these signs and signals that something bad will happen if you don't act. So yeah, I dropped a load of water weight. I was down to 194 pounds. Within a week, I'm back up to 198. So 4 more pounds of weight gain. I did increase the testosterone a little bit up to 600 milligrams just after about 3 weeks of no weight progress. I knew where I needed to be going into this prep. And I'm now sort of steadily there, happy with it all, and I'm ready to go over to the cruise. I've done differently. I'm saying that RAD140 isn't bad. Would I do it again? No. No chance. This isn't for those reasons though. I just felt like the effects were so much different to being on AAS. Just the feel, the reward, the type of muscle it built, it really wasn't the same. And I feel like the thermogenic effects, if that is a thing, for me it was a bit too much. Trying to gain off this compound, it was incredibly difficult. So in my eyes, I really would have subbed in Anavar if I really felt a need to. I was at the body fat where I probably could have pulled it off. But in my mind, the test alone would have done exactly the same as combining it with RAD140. So realistically, there's no real need there to add that in. Why would you combine the two to cause more stress in your body, higher blood pressure, more blood viscosity, the thickness of the blood, basically, your blood gets thicker, causes blood pressure, causes lots of other issues with your body, a lot of achy joints, a lot of issues like that. Why would you do all that just for some strength gains, which RAD might give you? It's not worth it, guys. And I say, if you're going to make the jump to the world of AAS, make sure to do it by the book. Don't do it the way I did it. It worked for me, and nothing bad's happened. But risk-reward profile, in hindsight, getting into that 10-week period of using RAD140 and, the 8th week of being on my combined cycle, it really started to show its colours that if you're going to jump on AAS, your results will be twice as good as SARMs at least. So don't go adding to the risk. I see people who are talking about adding tests to a test base to RAD, and in my opinion, just use the test. If you're going to inject yourself anyway, you may as well just go all in and do a test cycle. Learn how your body handles AI, learn how your body, handles the testosterone and what your genetic potential is. Because SARMs are so much more expensive than AAS is, and you're wasting your money just on inferior results while still having to go through the stresses of potentially having to use an AI on low dose if you're sensitive, and you're still seeing the stress of water weight gain, and you're still having to pin. Where is the reward there, guys? Now for the bonus round, I'm going to talk to you about the side effects, which I haven't talked about so far. Because talking about acid reflux, I never mentioned that before because it wasn't a factor. And on that note, I would honestly go back and buy capsules or tablets instead of liquids. I just think, yes, liquid's more likely to be dosed correctly and it gives you a bit more control, but just get yourself a pill cutter. It's so much simpler. But moving on, side effects that I didn't mention. Hair loss. I want to talk about this beauty. Look at that. Look, let's get all up in that hairline. Terrible. It has been abused. Now, I never faced hair loss issues from anything before. Before using anabolics, I was never prone to male pattern baldness. I was never prone to shedding. My hair was thick as hell. My dad's got a genetic bald patch there, but I'm gonna get that anyway. I am now, apparently. So what is going on with that hairline? Well, RAD140 is a hair killer. It seems to have amazing efficacy for the androgen receptors in the scalp, and the DHT conversion is serious. So what I did is, when I was on RAD140 alone, I could sort of handle it just with ketoconazole shampoo. That was sort of just preventing that issue. And then I jumped on testosterone as well, which just blatantly converts to DHT. It's not going to be kind on me. It's not as much like maybe Mastron, but it's pretty bad. So I made the upgrade. I actually use RU58841. So the reason being is because I did not want to jump on finasteride, just for the sexual health issues that it can give you and the side effects. I thought, you know what, let's give RU a punt, and if that doesn't work, I can go to finasteride. That's the last point of call, or a dutasteride. RU is going amazingly. I'm dosing it at 50 milligrams per day. Been doing so for about 2-3 weeks now, and I can already actually see, I'm not sure if you can pick that up here, not on that side anyway, but there are some small hairs which are just gaining around there. So I'm getting some baby hair growth, coming through. It's adding the hair follicles back in. It's reopening back those sort of hair follicle points. So it is helping. It is stopping the shedding. It's tricky. I bought a solution. Apparently that's not the best way to do it. You're meant to make it every other day or every day, but needs must, guys, and it's still working, and it's kept in my fridge. So all going well, but that is a serious side effect, guys, and you need to bear that in mind, that if you are prone to male pattern baldness and you get the shedding side effects as well, androgenic alopecia, you're going to be pretty screwed, because that basically means say goodbye to your hairline. And from what I've experienced, it doesn't just go away when you stop using it. The shedding might die down, but those follicles are closed by that point. That's what happens. Also, last bonus fact, illness. Yes, you are slightly elevated chance of getting ill in the first few weeks of your cycle when using testosterone. I also did on RAD140. It was just for a couple of days, not really much, but that's just how it really goes. So guys, I'm going to just strike some poses. I haven't actually done any real posing training up until this point. So this is just to give you an idea of my physique, and so you can input on whether I should be competing in men's physique, classic physique, just beginners, or beginners and open. So guys, yes, I know that's cringe, but I want you included in my decision-making process going up to this competition. I want to know what you think. Honestly, if you're standing in an audience you'd expect to see me in, drop a comment below, like and subscribe, click the bell button to get notified the next time I upload, and keep an eye out for my new series coming soon.